This is a website called Quizizz. I use this pretty frequently in my classroom, and it's a great resource for students, whether you want to use it as a whole class review, as an extension activity, or even as a warm-up. So the great thing about Quizizz is you can search for pre-existing quizzes or create your own. Quizizz is a platform that's very similar to Kahoot if you've used that in the past. So just to show you, this was one that I used when we were doing subtracting integers, and this was one that was created by another person. I just searched subtracting integers, and this came up, and I used this with my classes. So the way that you can play this is you have two options. You can play it live, which is very similar to what Kahoot is like. And so when you play it live, you've got a couple options. I usually shuffle the questions and the answer choices. You can have the students either see the answer as soon as they answer the question. I like to turn that off. And what I leave on is that they see all the answers and review their questions at the very end. Leaderboard is something that the students get very involved with. It shows, who is ranked the highest, and you get higher on the leaderboard by either answering the questions more accurately as well as quicker. Question timer is an option that I typically turn off because I like the students to answer the questions at their own pace. And after each student answers a question, you have the option of them seeing a funny meme and listening to music. Again, I sometimes like to turn that off, but completely up to you. So once you're done with those options, you hit proceed, and then this is what will be displayed on your screen waiting for students to join in. So students would simply go to this website, enter this code, and then it gives them a screen to enter their name. And their names will pop up here. You click start, and then it just shows you at the top, your leaderboard down here and the code for students who are joining in either again or late. So after the students are done, the great thing is you get these really cool results and reports. So the way that you can access this is you go to reports once you sign in, and it's completely free. Go to reports and you select the quizzes that you want to review, and it shows all the players and their scores. It shows the questions. It breaks it down by how many chose this answer, and unattempted, I'm pretty sure, means that they just didn't get to that question. I don't think students can skip a question. But something that I really like looking at is this overview. And it shows the students along here as well as the question and the accuracy per question. An update that they recently did is you can actually access this report while the students are playing. So again, this will be up, and once you have students entered in, it'll have leaderboard over here, or you can click questions over here. And when you click questions, it shows a report that's very, very similar to this. So one thing that I like to do is while students are playing, I might pause their game just by simply having them, close their screens, or, close it to where they can't see the screen, and we'll review a question that I notice that a lot of students are getting incorrect. Like for instance, question 26 would be a question that I would probably review. Or maybe even question 30. And so that's something that really works well for them. That's when you're playing it live. The other option is you can play it and actually assign it to them as homework. So if you click this assign as homework, you can click and set what date you want it to appear and the time, or I'm sorry, the date it's due and the time that it's due. And again, you have the same options that you did before. And when you do this, it gives you a link that you can post on Google Classroom. I do that a lot. Or you can just give them the specific code. This works great if you want to do a test review, and students can access it from anywhere at any time within that time frame. So the way that you create a quiz is, again, you go to the top, it says create a quiz, enter a title, and you also have the new option of aligning it to state standards. So once you do that, like I said previously, you can create your own question, or you can even search from existing questions. So the way that you would create your own question is you would type the question here, and you can see what it would look like on the student's screen. And a new option is you can either select a single answer or a multi selecting answer, meaning that the answer has more than one answer. So then you can just put your question options down here. You can add as many as you want. Again, you can tag standards. You can set an allotted time frame for them to answer this question. That's if you want to use the timer for the question. You can also add images. One way that I use images is if the question might be an equation and I want them to select the graph that goes with the equation. I would add images of different graphs here and they need to select the correct graph. You would just hit save. Oh, I'm sorry, you have to hit a correct answer. And that's pretty much it. You can go here, select a grade level. We'll do math. You can make it about whatever you want. I think that just makes it easier for people to search their questions. And then it just brings you right back to the screen that we were previously looking at. You can play it live or assign it as homework. Like I mentioned before, if you ever come across a Quizizz where the answer is incorrect, you can simply edit it. If it's not a Quizizz that you made, you can duplicate it, which would then appear within your Quizizz, and then you can edit it. But my students really enjoyed this. It was one of their favorite things that they did all year, and I look forward to using it in years to come.